The story begins in the cold vastness of space, where tension is at an all-time high. The Galactic Council, a powerful force that has dominated the galaxy for centuries, is facing an unexpected and unprecedented crisis. The news comes through an urgent communication. An asteroid, larger than anything the alien race has ever seen before, is speeding towards their homeworld. The asteroid is not natural. It has been launched with intent, and its trajectory points directly to their planet. The alien homeworld, protected by layers of sophisticated defense systems, is now on the brink of destruction. But there's something even more unsettling about this situation. The origin of this deadly asteroid is not from a rival alien race or a rogue asteroid belt. It comes from Earth, a planet the Galactic Council has long written off as insignificant. The alien general, a battle-hardened leader who has crushed countless enemies in the past, stands in shock as the news reaches him. His mind races, trying to make sense of what's happening. How could a primitive species like humans, whose technology is far less advanced than the Council's, launch such a massive threat? The general's thoughts are interrupted by the harsh voice of the Council's emissary, demanding immediate action. The general is ordered to investigate the asteroid and neutralize it before it reaches the planet. The Council, known for its ruthless efficiency, does not tolerate threats. A plan must be devised, and it must be executed without hesitation. The scene cuts to a holographic display showing the asteroid's rapid descent toward the alien homeworld. It's an overwhelming sight. An enormous, jagged rock hurtling through the void of space, its path unyielding. The camera zooms in, revealing the alien general's face, filled with disbelief and confusion. His once unshakable confidence begins to falter. This is unlike anything he's faced before. How could Earth, a planet of insignificant, struggling humans, pull off such a daring act of aggression? The general orders his fleet to mobilize, but deep down, he knows this is more than just a battle for survival. This is a message. Humans have fought back, and now they're showing the galaxy just how dangerous they can be. He thinks back to the reports he's read about Earth, its people, and their history. They are known for their unpredictability, their resilience, but never before has it been on display in such an explosive way. The scene shifts back to the asteroid, still racing toward its target, and the tension builds as the general ponders Earth's capabilities. The Council has always been the supreme power in the galaxy, but now they face an unknown force. The camera pans out, revealing the fragile defense systems surrounding the alien homeworld. Massive ships stand at attention, ready for battle, but the question on everyone's mind is whether they'll be able to stop the asteroid in time. A final shot shows the general standing alone on the bridge, staring into the infinite blackness of space, knowing that this moment will change everything. As the asteroid looms ever closer, the audience is left with an uneasy feeling, unsure of what's to come. Will the alien forces be able to stop it, or is Earth's bold move about to change the balance of power forever? The camera cuts to black, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats, ready for what happens next. The scene has set the stage for a high-stakes conflict, and the cliffhanger leaves the audience eager to see how the story will unfold. The shock of humans launching such a destructive weapon, the alien general's growing uncertainty, and the ticking clock all combine to create a gripping start to the story. The visuals of space battles, alien technology, and the looming asteroid add depth and excitement, while the emotional stakes are set high with the alien general's personal doubt and fear. This opening sequence ensures that the audience will stay engaged, eagerly anticipating each new twist in the tale. The story shifts from the cold and calculating world of the alien general to the warm, chaotic atmosphere of Earth. Amid the glowing lights of human cities, we are introduced to our protagonist, a brilliant scientist, Dr. Isaac Keller. He stands in front of a vast screen, his mind racing as he watches the massive asteroid hurtling toward the alien homeworld. It is a moment of both triumph and terror. Dr. Keller, a genius in aerospace engineering and artificial intelligence, has spent years developing a plan that no one thought possible, a way for humanity to fight back against the oppressive power of the Galactic Council. Through a flashback, we learn about the dire situation that led to this moment. The Galactic Council, a conglomerate of alien races, has long seen humanity as a weak, insignificant species, destined to be pushed around and manipulated. For decades, they have imposed their will upon Earth, using it as a resource for their own gain, treating humans as little more than pawns in their grand galactic game. Earth's military forces have been no match for the advanced technology of the Council, and any attempts at resistance have been quickly crushed. But humans are not easily broken. Dr. Keller, one of the leading minds behind humanity's last-ditch effort, had grown sick of watching his people suffer. The constant oppression, the alien invasions, the cruel subjugation, it all built up to one final desperate plan. After years of secret work, he and his team developed a device that could strike back at the heart of the Galactic Council, a massive asteroid laced with advanced AI technology, designed to reach the alien homeworld and cause maximum destruction. As Dr. Keller stands before his team, we get a glimpse of the tight-knit group of engineers and military strategists who have supported his vision. They are a team of underdogs, individuals who, like Keller, have been pushed to their limits and are now united by a single purpose: to save Earth from annihilation. The mission they've undertaken is not without risk. The asteroid, although a powerful weapon, is a one-way ticket. There is no coming back from this. If the asteroid reaches the alien planet and succeeds, Earth has a chance of survival. But if it fails, humanity will pay the price. Dr. Keller addresses his team, his voice steady but filled with the weight of what they are about to do. He explains the final stages of their plan. We've placed a small, advanced AI inside the asteroid to control its trajectory. It's programmed to correct itself if it drifts off course. This is our only shot. If this works, Earth may have a future. If it doesn't, he lets the sentence hang in the air, the gravity of the situation clear to everyone. The AI inside the asteroid has been designed to ensure that even the slightest miscalculation won't cause failure. The asteroid must hit its target, and the team must trust that the AI will guide it with perfect precision. It is, as Keller puts it, the last hope of mankind. The tension grows as the countdown to launch begins. Dr. Keller stands at the helm, staring out into the dark expanse of space as the fleet prepares to deploy the asteroid. The massive ships are cloaked, hiding in the shadows of deep space, their engines silent as they approach the point of no return. The faint hum of machinery and the soft tapping of keyboards are the only sounds in the control room. Every member of the team knows that once the asteroid is launched, they will have no way of stopping it. It is a one-way mission, and there is no turning back. The visual of the human fleet preparing for launch is one of intense focus and quiet determination. Cloaked ships, their surfaces reflecting the distant starlight, move through the darkness like shadows. The fleet is small compared to the alien forces, but it is powerful in its own right. Each ship is equipped with the latest technology, a testament to humanity's ability to adapt and innovate, even in the face of overwhelming odds. As the countdown reaches its final seconds, the tension in the control room is palpable. The humans are fighting for their survival, and this is their final chance. As the clock ticks down to zero, the asteroid is released into space. The massive rock, cloaked in high-tech stealth systems, is launched with incredible speed, its trajectory set for the heart of the alien homeworld. The visual is breathtaking. The asteroid, cloaked in shimmering energy fields, accelerates into the void, its massive size dwarfing the human ships around it. The background is filled with explosions from a nearby asteroid belt, adding a layer of danger and urgency to the scene. The fleet, with its sleek, powerful ships, watches as the asteroid begins its journey toward its destination. The camera cuts to a close-up of Dr. Keller's face, his eyes filled with a mixture of hope and fear. The moment of truth has arrived. He watches the asteroid begin its flight, knowing that this is all or nothing. If the asteroid succeeds, Earth will have a fighting chance. If it fails, humanity is lost. It's a terrifying thought, but one he's been prepared for. The work they've put into this mission is years of blood, sweat, and tears. The AI inside the asteroid is their final gamble. As the human fleet watches the asteroid's progress, they can only wait and hope. Dr. Keller and his team know that they've done everything possible to ensure the mission's success. But space is unforgiving. Anything can go wrong, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The visual of the asteroid accelerating, dwarfing the ships, is a dramatic reminder of the immense power behind the mission. The fate of Earth rests in the hands of an advanced AI and a giant rock of destruction. The suspense continues to build as the fleet maintains its course, moving toward the edge of the solar system. The alien forces, unaware of the impending threat, continue to prepare their counterattack. The humans are operating in the shadows, cloaked in secrecy, waiting for the moment when the asteroid will reach its destination. The visual of the ships disappearing into the darkness, their engines fading into the background, adds to the sense of impending danger. They are alone in the vastness of space, with no allies, no backup. If anything goes wrong, it's over. As the asteroid nears its destination, the tension in the control room reaches a fever pitch. The final moments of the mission are upon them, and the team can only watch as the AI takes control of the asteroid's flight. It adjusts its trajectory, correcting any minor deviations. The ship's screens flash with data, and the countdown to impact begins. Dr. Keller stands at the front of the room, his heart pounding in his chest. He knows that the next few moments will determine the fate of humanity. It's now or never. The visual effects heighten the sense of urgency, flashing numbers on the screens, the asteroid drawing closer to the alien planet, and the eerie silence that fills the room as they await the impact. The calm before the storm is thick with anticipation. The viewers are on the edge of their seats, wondering if the humans' bold move will succeed, or if this is the moment everything falls apart. In this part of the story, the tension is palpable, the visuals are gripping, and the stakes are higher than ever. The humans' bold move is a testament to their resilience, intelligence, and determination. As the asteroid hurtles toward its target, the audience is left with one question: will humanity's desperate gamble pay off, or will they be crushed by the power of the Galactic Council? The response from the Galactic Council was swift and brutal. The alien general, who had been left in disbelief after the human asteroid launch, quickly rallied the full force of the galactic fleet. The Council had underestimated humanity's potential, and now they were intent on making Earth pay for their audacity. The general, a seasoned warrior and tactician, stood in front of a massive screen in the command center of his flagship, his face a mask of cold fury. He stared at the data streaming across the screen, showing the asteroid's trajectory and the ongoing mission of the human fleet. Despite their advanced technology and their superior military might, the Council had learned one painful truth: the humans were not as weak as they had believed. The asteroid, though primitive in design compared to their own weaponry, had successfully been launched and was heading straight for their homeworld. A massive fleet of alien warships was already being assembled, and the general was prepared to lead them into battle, determined to ensure that the humans would never have a chance to threaten the Galactic Empire again. As the alien fleet prepared for the final confrontation, the general issued the orders for full mobilization. Hundreds of sleek warships, equipped with devastating weaponry and shield technology, entered formation. Each vessel was a marvel of alien engineering, designed for maximum destruction. They moved in perfect synchrony, a symbol of the overwhelming power that the Council wielded across the galaxy. The massive fleet was a terrifying sight, as countless ships filled the expanse of space, their dark silhouettes cutting through the stars. The general's voice echoed through the fleet's communication channels, ordering them to advance at full speed toward Earth. Back on Earth, the situation was dire. The humans knew they were vastly outnumbered and outgunned. Their military was no match for the sheer power of the alien fleet. The asteroid, their only hope of surviving this war, was still en route, and they had no way of stopping the incoming alien assault. The human fleet, though small in comparison, was ready for one final desperate stand. They had been preparing for this moment for years, gathering secret weapons and building up their defenses, but the odds were against them. Dr. Isaac Keller, the scientist who had led the asteroid mission, stood on the bridge of a human command ship, staring at the holographic display showing the incoming alien fleet. His heart pounded in his chest, but he didn't show it. He had come too far, risked too much, to show fear now. "This is it," he muttered to himself. "If this doesn't work, humanity's finished." The human fleet was made up of a mix of advanced cloaked ships, stealth technology designed to give them an edge against the larger, more powerful alien warships. Their weapons, though not as sophisticated as the aliens, had been modified for maximum impact. They were built from scraps of older technology, combining human ingenuity with desperate improvisation. The fleet's goal was simple: survive long enough to allow the asteroid to reach its target. As the alien ships moved closer, their firepower was overwhelming. The first wave of attacks hit Earth's defenses, massive energy blasts raining down from the alien warships. The human shields flickered and crackled as they absorbed the brunt of the attack, but they wouldn't last long. The alien ships began to press their advantage, firing relentlessly on the human defenses. Dr. Keller watched the battle unfold on the screen. He could feel the tension in the air, the weight of humanity's future resting on their ability to hold off the aliens long enough for the asteroid to reach its target. The human fleet fought back fiercely, but it was clear that they were outmatched. Their cloaking devices were effective at evading some of the alien fire, but they couldn't hide forever. Prepared to engage the enemy, came the command from the human fleet's leader. The humans fired their makeshift weapons, small missiles and energy blasts designed to do as much damage as possible. The alien fleet was massive, and each human ship had to fight for its survival. The visuals of the space battle were stunning. The human ships, sleek and agile, darted through the stars, cloaked in shimmering energy fields, as they launched attack after attack on the much larger alien vessels. The alien warships, with their intimidating forms and massive firepower, fired back in waves, their weapons lighting up the darkness of space. The battle raged on, a stunning visual of chaos and destruction. Explosions filled the background as human and alien ships collided in a deadly dance of death. The human fleet, despite being outnumbered and outgunned, refused to give up. Their resolve was unshakable. As explosions rocked the battlefield, human soldiers prepared for what might be their final moments. In the control room of one of the human ships, Dr. Keller stood, his face set in grim determination. He watched as the battle unfolded on the holographic display. His mind raced as he thought of all the sacrifices made to get to this point. His team, his friends, all of them had put everything on the line for this one shot. The asteroid was humanity's only hope, but it had to get through this massive fleet of alien warships first. "We won't go down without a fight," Dr. Keller whispered, his voice low but filled with fierce resolve. "We can do this." The visuals of the battle became even more intense as the two fleets clashed. Alien warships unleashed devastating energy blasts that shook the very fabric of space, while human ships, using their agility and cloaking devices, darted in and out of range, launching missiles and firing lasers at the alien fleet. Every move was calculated, every attack a desperate attempt to slow the alien advance. On the ground, the human soldiers prepared for impact. The first wave of enemy fire had already struck Earth's surface, but they were not backing down. Soldiers stood firm, their faces determined as they manned the defense stations. They knew the odds. They knew that this battle was one of life and death, but they fought on with everything they had. The visuals of the human soldiers bracing for impact were powerful, showing their unwavering determination as they fought to protect their planet. Close-up shots of soldiers gripping their weapons, their expressions filled with resolve, added an emotional layer to the battle. The human spirit, though battered, was not broken. As the battle continued, the human fleet began to take heavy losses. Alien warships fired relentlessly, blasting apart human ships in fiery explosions. Despite their best efforts, the humans were being overwhelmed by the sheer size and firepower of the alien fleet, but they held their ground. Every ship destroyed, every soldier lost, was a painful blow, but it only fueled their determination to fight harder. The visuals of the space battle were now a chaotic storm of explosions and flashing lights. The human fleet, though slowly being overwhelmed, continued to fight with everything they had. The stakes had never been higher. The alien fleet, confident in their superior power, underestimated the resilience of humanity. And as the battle waged on, Dr. Keller and his team knew one thing for sure. This was humanity's last stand. The asteroid had to succeed, or Earth would fall to the might of the Galactic Council. The battle raged on, with no clear victor in sight. But one thing was certain: the humans would not go down without a fight. The battlefield was a chaotic whirl of explosions, flashing lights, and the deafening roar of missiles colliding with shields. The once serene expanse of space was now a war zone, with human and alien ships locked in a fierce dogfight. The alien fleet, vast and powerful, had expected an easy victory. But the humans, though vastly outnumbered and outgunned, fought with a desperation born of survival. They weren't just defending their planet. They were fighting for their very existence. The human ships darted through space, their cloaking devices activating just in time to avoid deadly blasts from the alien warships. The aliens, however, were relentless. Their ships fired in synchronized waves, sending beams of energy that rippled through the darkness of space. The human ships, small and nimble, evaded the initial assault, using guerrilla tactics to strike at the heart of the alien fleet. It wasn't just about advanced technology. It was about strategy, resourcefulness, and the will to survive. Dr. Isaac Keller, standing at the command center of his ship, watched the battle unfold with a mix of awe and fear. His heart raced as he observed the human fleet's tactics, hit-and-run maneuvers, exploiting the smallest weaknesses in the alien ships. It was a desperate strategy, but it was all they had. Every missile launched, every shield that held for just a few more seconds, was a small victory. The humans weren't going down without a fight. "Keep moving," shouted one of the commanders over the comms. "We need to stay mobile. Don't give them a chance to target us." The human fleet was outnumbered, but they fought as though their very lives depended on it. And they did. Every ship, every soldier was putting everything on the line, risking everything for the chance to turn the tide of this war. The tension in the air was palpable as the fleet weaved through a storm of laser fire, missiles, and debris. Human soldiers braced for impact, knowing that each moment could be their last. In the heart of the battle, one soldier stood out among the rest. Bonner. A seasoned fighter, Bonner had seen countless battles, but none like this. His ship, a sleek fighter with advanced cloaking technology, zipped through the chaos, taking out alien ships with precision. But the tide of the battle was turning against them. The human fleet, though they fought bravely, was losing ground. The alien warships were too many, their firepower overwhelming. Bonner knew that the humans couldn't win by sheer force. They needed to be smarter, quicker. As the battle raged, Bonner's ship was hit. The warning lights flashed, and the ship shook violently as an explosion tore through one of its engines. The comms crackled to life. "Bonner, report," came the voice of his commander. Bonner's voice, calm yet strained, came through the speaker. "I'm still here, but I can't hold on much longer. We need to create a distraction, give the rest of the fleet a chance to escape." The plan was risky, but it was their only option. Bonner knew that if the human fleet was going to survive, someone had to make the ultimate sacrifice. With grim determination, he made his decision. "I'm going to take them down with me," he said quietly. Before anyone could respond, Bonner's ship shot forward, heading straight for the largest alien warship. It was a suicide mission, but it was their only hope. As he neared the enemy ship, Bonner fired every remaining weapon at his disposal, unleashing a barrage of missiles and energy blasts. The alien warship returned fire, but Bonner's ship was too close. The explosion was cataclysmic, a blinding light that engulfed the battlefield. The human fleet watched in stunned silence as Bonner's sacrifice created a hole in the alien formation. It was a small opening, but it was enough. The humans, driven by the loss of their comrade, fought with renewed fury. They couldn't let Bonner's death be in vain. Every human soldier, every pilot, now fought for him, for their survival, for Earth. Dr. Keller's heart was heavy as he watched the aftermath of Bonner's final act. He knew that the sacrifice would inspire the remaining fighters, but the cost was immeasurable. "He did it for us," Keller whispered, his voice barely audible. "We owe him everything." The alien fleet, temporarily disoriented by Bonner's death, regrouped and prepared for another wave of attacks. But the humans, though battered, were not ready to give up. They continued to fight back with everything they had, launching a new offensive. The human ships moved with precision, exploiting every weakness in the alien fleet's defenses. In the midst of the battle, another human ship was hit, and another soldier was lost. This time, it was Lieutenant Madison, a young officer with a family waiting for her back home. As the explosion rocked her ship, her last words came through the comms. "For Earth, for humanity." Her death, like Bonner's, was a rallying cry for the remaining soldiers. They couldn't stop fighting. They couldn't let their friends die in vain. Every death was a reminder of what they were fighting for: the survival of humanity, the protection of their home, and the hope that they could win against the seemingly impossible odds. The visuals of the battle were intense, each moment filled with heartbreak and heroism. Explosions lit up the battlefield as the human fleet engaged in a final, desperate struggle. Close-up shots of soldiers bracing for impact, their faces filled with determination, conveyed the emotional weight of the moment. Their resolve was unshakable. They would fight until the last breath, no matter the cost. As the battle dragged on, back on Earth, families and loved ones were watching from the safety of their homes, unaware of the final stages of the battle. They had no idea how close humanity had come to the brink of extinction, but the people on the front lines knew. They had fought with everything they had, and now it was up to the asteroid to do its job. As the asteroid entered the atmosphere of the alien planet, the atmosphere shook violently. The skies above the alien cities darkened, and a massive shadow fell over the world. The alien defenses were powerless to stop it. The asteroid crashed through the sky like a comet from hell, its fiery tail illuminating the heavens. For a moment, time seemed to slow. The human fleet, watching from a distance, could only hope that their sacrifice had been worth it. And then, with a deafening roar, the asteroid hit the surface of the alien homeworld. The impact was catastrophic. The asteroid collided with the alien planet with an unimaginable force, sending shockwaves through the cities below. The ground trembled as massive plumes of smoke and debris shot up into the air. The explosion was so powerful that it could be seen from space, a brilliant flash of light that engulfed the planet. On the surface, the alien cities were obliterated in an instant. Towering skyscrapers, once symbols of the alien empire's might, crumbled to the ground. The shockwave rippled across the planet, leveling everything in its path. The alien infrastructure, once so advanced and impenetrable, was reduced to rubble. Inside the alien command center, General Lorthis stood frozen, staring at the screen. His mind was racing. He had never imagined that humans, whom they had considered nothing more than primitive pests, could pose such a threat. He had underestimated them. He had underestimated Earth. The general had seen countless battles in his time, but nothing like this. The destruction was beyond anything he had ever witnessed. The Council's stronghold, the heart of the alien empire, was now in ruins. The asteroid had done its job. It had destroyed everything the alien forces had worked for: their cities, their military power, their legacy. The alien ships, which had been trying desperately to prevent the asteroid from hitting, were now drifting aimlessly in space. Their once unstoppable force had been shattered in an instant. There was nothing they could do now. The general's face, once filled with confidence and pride, now showed nothing but disbelief. The aliens had lost. The human fleet, battered and exhausted, watched from the shadows as the explosion unfolded. The sight was both beautiful and devastating. The asteroid, now a distant memory, had done what they had hoped for, what they had fought for. The alien world was dying. Dr. Keller stood in stunned silence, his eyes still fixed on the screen. For a moment, he couldn't believe what he was seeing. The asteroid had worked. Humanity had won. Against all odds, they had succeeded. "Is it over?" someone asked quietly from behind him. Keller nodded slowly. "I think it is. We did it." But the victory was bittersweet. They had lost so much along the way. Bonner Madison and so many others had given their lives for this moment. The cost had been high. Yet in the end, humanity had triumphed. They had proven that even against the most powerful forces in the galaxy, they could stand their ground. They could fight back. And they could win. As the alien homeworld burned, the human fleet turned back toward Earth. The survivors knew that their war was not over. There would be other battles, other challenges. But for now, they could rest, knowing that their planet was safe. The visuals of the impact were still fresh in everyone's mind. The shockwave from the asteroid's collision had been visible from space, lighting up the void in a brilliant flash. The beauty of the explosion, with its fiery tendrils reaching out across the sky, was awe-inspiring. But it was also devastating. It marked the end of the alien empire, the end of their tyranny. The human fleet, now victorious, continued their journey home, their ships scared but resilient. They had fought for their survival, and now they would return as heroes. The world would never forget the sacrifice of those who had given everything to protect their home. The battle was over. Humanity had won. The silence that followed the asteroid's impact was deafening. It wasn't the kind of silence that comes after a peaceful moment. No, this was the silence of something bigger, something that could never be undone. The war had ended, but the aftermath was just beginning. The alien homeworld, once a beacon of power and technological advancement, now lay in ruins. The Galactic Council, which had ruled over the galaxy with an iron fist, was no more. Its power had been shattered, crushed beneath the weight of the human rebellion. The humans, despite being outnumbered and outgunned, had won. Against all odds, they had proven that they were capable of more than just survival. They were capable of taking down an empire. As the dust settled, the remaining survivors of the human fleet gathered in the empty void of space. Their ships, though battered and scarred, had made it through the final battle. They had fought with everything they had, and now they stood victorious. They had destroyed the Galactic Council's hold on the galaxy, and they had liberated the galaxy from tyranny. But victory came at a cost. The alien general, once a staunch defender of the Council's power, stood on the edge of the battlefield. The once proud fleet that he had commanded was now nothing more than debris, floating aimlessly in space. His face was tired, his expression a mixture of disbelief and regret. The humans had done what no one thought possible. They had brought down the mighty Galactic Council, and now he found himself questioning everything he had once believed. The general had always been loyal to the Council. He had fought countless battles in their name, had seen the destruction of countless worlds, all in the name of their vision. But after witnessing the destruction of his own homeworld and seeing the power of humanity's resolve, he began to question everything. He stood alone, his once invincible army now reduced to nothing. The weight of his choices weighed heavily on him. He had been a soldier, following orders without ever stopping to question why. But now, as the wreckage of the Council's ships floated around him, he could no longer ignore the truth. The humans had shown him something that the Council never could: a will to survive, a drive to protect their home, no matter the cost. The general had always been told that the aliens were superior to the humans. He had been taught that their species was destined to dominate the galaxy. Yet, here they were, humanity, the so-called inferior species, standing tall in the face of overwhelming odds and emerging victorious. The general had witnessed the depths of human determination, and it had shaken him to his core. It was in this moment of reflection that the general made a decision that would change everything. He turned away from the wreckage and began to walk toward the horizon, toward the distant glow of Earth. His mind was made up. He could no longer serve the Galactic Council. The weight of their tyranny was too much for him to bear. The general, once the symbol of alien might, now offered humanity an unexpected alliance. He knew that the war was over, but the galaxy was still a dangerous place. There were others, other alien factions, that might try to fill the power vacuum left by the Council's fall. In this uncertain time, humanity needed all the allies they could get. It was a fragile alliance, to be sure. Trust would need to be built, and there would be no guarantees. But the general had seen what humanity was capable of, and he believed that they could be a force for good in the galaxy. His decision to defect wasn't just about saving himself. It was about ensuring that the galaxy would never fall under the oppressive rule of the Galactic Council again. Meanwhile, on Earth, the survivors of the human fleet were beginning to pick up the pieces of their shattered world. The battle had been won, but there was much work to be done. Cities had been destroyed, infrastructure had crumbled, and families had been torn apart. The cost of victory was high, and the road to rebuilding would be long. But there was hope. The human protagonist, Dr. Keller, stood before the wreckage of the alien fleet, his mind a whirlwind of emotions. He had lost so many friends, so many comrades along the way. Bonner, Madison, and countless others had given their lives for this moment. But their sacrifice had not been in vain. The Galactic Council was no more. The humans had proven that they could stand up against the most powerful forces in the galaxy, and they had come out on top. Keller gazed out at the remains of the alien warships, their once pristine hulls now twisted and broken. It was hard to believe that just days ago, these ships had been the symbols of an unstoppable empire. Now, they were just another pile of space debris, a testament to humanity's will to survive. As he stood there, lost in thought, a voice interrupted his reverie. It was one of his fellow officers, a young woman named Eva. "Dr. Keller, it's time to go. Earth is waiting." He nodded, slowly. The battle was over, but the real work was just beginning. Humanity had a chance to rebuild, to forge a new future, but it wouldn't be easy. There would be challenges ahead, and many more battles to fight. The galaxy was a vast, unforgiving place, and there were still threats lurking in the shadows. But for now, they had won, and that victory was worth everything. Keller turned away from the wreckage and began to walk toward the shuttle that would take him back to Earth. As he climbed aboard, he glanced out the window at the stars. The galaxy had changed forever, and humanity had a new place in it. No longer were they just a small, insignificant species on the fringes of the galaxy. They were a force to be reckoned with. As the shuttle lifted off and made its way back to Earth, Keller couldn't help but feel a sense of hope. The future was uncertain, but it was in their hands now. Humanity had faced the ultimate challenge and had emerged victorious. They had fought for their survival, and they had won. The final shot of the story shows Dr. Keller standing at the helm of the shuttle, staring out at the stars as they sped toward home. The stars twinkled in the distance, vast and endless. But for the first time in a long time, humanity had hope. The galaxy was open to them now, and they were ready to defend their place in it. The end of the war had marked the beginning of a new era. The general, now a reluctant ally, looked toward Earth with a sense of curiosity and respect. Perhaps humanity wasn't as weak as they had once believed. Perhaps they were the future of the galaxy. As the shuttle disappeared into the vast expanse of space, a new chapter began, one in which humanity would no longer be seen as prey, but as the predators of their own destiny. The galaxy had changed, and humanity was ready to claim their place among the stars. This was just the beginning.